Hello, my name is Jim DeMeo, and this is A Course in Miracles. Today we're doing lesson 184. It's really a continuation of the previous lesson. The name of God is my inheritance. You live by symbols. You have made up names for everything you see. Each one becomes a separate entity identified by its own name. By this you carve it out of unity. By this you designate its special attributes and set it off from other things, by emphasizing space around it. This space you lay between all things to which you give a different name, all happenings in terms of place and time, all bodies which are greeted by a name. This space you see as setting off all things from one another, is the means by which the world's perception is achieved. You see something where nothing is, and see as well nothing where there is unity. The space between you and all things. Thus do you think that you have given life in separation. By this split you think you are established as a unity which functions with an independent will. Boy, two really big illusions. What are these names by which the world becomes a series of discrete events, things ununified, of bodies kept apart and holding bits of mind as separate awareness? You gave these names to them, establishing perception as you wish to have perception be. The nameless things were given names, and thus reality was given them as well. See the illusion? Give it a name, and now you can think it's different. For what is named is given meaning and will then be seen as meaningful, a cause of true effect, with consequence inherent in itself. This is the way reality is made by partial vision, purposefully set against the given truth. Its enemy is wholeness. It conceives of little things and looks upon them. Why is it its enemy? Well, simply because of this. We like to think of ourselves. If we get rid of separateness and embrace wholeness, there is no small s. And so the small s continues to strive to exist in hopelessness because of this capital S that we actually are. Is this a problem? No, it's not a problem. But that's why wholeness is the enemy. This is why you will get resistance if you talk, don't preach, about the unity of all things. He conceives of little things and looks upon them. Sense of control, doesn't it? And the lack of space, a sense of unity or vision that sees differently, become the threats which it must overcome. Conflict and deny. Throughout the course of history, anyone that has come, not just Jesus, but anyone who has come, the Buddha, to name another, always has been embroiled without meaning to into conflict, because their very thought, their very existence is a threat. Yet, does this other vision still remain the natural direction for the mind to channel its perception? It's hard to teach the mind 1,000 alien names and thousands more. Yet you believe this is what learning means. It reminds me of learning vocabulary and studying languages in college. It's one essential goal by which communication is achieved and concepts can be meaningfully shared. This is the sum of the inheritance the world bestows, and everyone who learns to think that it is so accepts the signs and symbols that assert the world is real. Even this course has symbols. Words are symbols. So the course itself is not real, it's just symbols. They leave no doubt that what is named is there. Excuse me, the only thing that's there is a word. It can be seen as is anticipated. Sense of control. That's what happens when you're fearful. Excuse me again. What denies that it is true is but illusion, for it is the ultimate reality. To question it is madness. To accept its presence is the proof of sanity. Such is the teaching of the world. It is a phase of learning everyone who comes must go through. But the sooner he perceives on what it rests, how questionable its premises, how doubtful its results, the sooner does he question its effects. Learning that stops with what the world would teach stops short of meaning. In its proper place, it serves but as a starting point from which another kind of learning can begin. A new perception can be gained. All the arbitrary names the world bestows can be withdrawn as they are raised to doubt. So, is it not true that eventually this course is unneeded? Absolutely. The goal of this course is to be unneeded. The goal of this course is for you to be in meaning, to accept first the meaning in yourself, others, and therefore our source. Think not you made the world. Illusions, yes, but what is true in earth and heaven is beyond your naming. When you call upon a brother, it is to his body that you make appeal. His true identity is hidden from you by what you believe he really is. His body makes response to what you call him, for his mind consents to take the name you give him as his own. And thus, his unity is twice denied. For you perceive him separate from you, and he accepts this separate name as his. It would indeed be strange if you were asked to go beyond those symbols of the world, forgetting them forever, yet were asked to take a teaching function. You have need to use the symbols of the world a while, but be you not deceived by them as well. They don't stand for anything at all, including the words in this course, including my words. And in your participating, in your practicing, it is this thought that will release you from them. They have no real meaning. They become but means by which you can communicate in ways the world can understand, but which you recognize as not the unity where true communication can be found. It is in the one mind that true communication can be found. Thus, what you need are intervals each day in which the learning of the world becomes a transitory phase, a prison house from which you go into the sunlight and forget the darkness. Here you understand the word, the name which God has given you, the one identity which all things share, the one acknowledgement of what is true. Then step back to darkness, not because you think it real, but only to proclaim its unreality, not being afraid of the dark. In terms which still have meaning in the world, the darkness rules. Use all the little names and symbols which delineate the world of darkness, yet accept them not as your reality. The Holy Spirit uses all of them, but he does not forget creation has one name, one meaning, and a single source. Yesterday we remembered Jehovah, which unifies all things within itself. Use all the names the world bestows on them, but for convenience. Yet, do not forget they share the name of God along with you. God has no name. and yet his name becomes the final lesson that all things are one. At this lesson does all learning end. All names are unified, all space is filled with truth's reflection, every gap is closed and separation healed. The name of God is the inheritance he gave to those who chose the teaching of the world to take the place of heaven. In your practicing, our purpose is to let our minds accept what God has given us as the answer to the pitiful inheritance you made as fitting tribute to the Son he loves. No one can fail who seeks the meaning of the name of God. Experience must come to supplement the word. But first you must accept the name for all reality and realize the very many names you gave its aspects, that they have distorted what you see, but have not interfered with truth at all. One name we bring into our practicing, one name we use to unify our sight. Why? Because eventually we'll stop thinking in separation. In a sense, stop wondering, start realizing. That's the end of the process that we're looking for. And though we use a different name for each awareness of an aspect of God's Son, we understand that they have but one name, which he has given them. It is this name we use in practicing. And through its use, all foolish separations disappear, which keep us blind. We're given strength to see beyond them. Now our sight is blessed with blessings. We can give as we receive. Father, our name is yours. In it we are united with all living things, and you, who are their one creator. What we made and call by different names is but a shadow we have tried to cast across your own reality. We are glad and thankful we were wrong. All our mistakes we give to you, that we may be absolved from all effects our errors seem to have. We accept the truth you gave in place of every one of them. Your name is our salvation, an escape from what we made. Your name unites us in the oneness, which is our inheritance in peace.